honored guests. I was once told that I am a lazy writer. Imagine yourself in 7th grade. You're 13 years old, you have plans, you have dreams, and you are pre-eminently vulnerable. And there you are, standing in front of your entire class, and your English teacher says to you, you are a lazy writer. A single grade on a single assignment, and an entire part of your brain is cast off as worthless. Fast forward 5 years. You're graduating from high school, and you're convinced that writing just isn't worth the trouble. With good grades in math and science, you're convinced that you're an engineer. Fast forward another 5 years, and here I am, finishing engineering school, convinced that I'm not an engineer. You see, the thing that I discovered when I got to engineering school was that I'm really not that good at calculus. I nearly failed out of school because of thermodynamics. And the reason why I nearly failed was the things that engineers do, take patterns and turn them into numbers, and take numbers and turn them into physical objects that are useful, are things that run counter to the way that my brain works. See, the trouble begins. It began for me, as it begins for many of us, when we start teaching our children what kinds of intelligence to value. As Sir Ken Robinson, who is an internationally acclaimed advocate for creativity in education, has noted, in every single institutionalized education system in the world, there is the same hierarchy of intelligences. At the very top, you have math and science, the logical intelligences. Beneath that, linguistics, literacy, languages. Beneath that still, the humanities, psychology and interpersonal intelligence. And beneath that still, the arts. Now, many of you don't have to imagine. But imagine if you were gifted in one of these intelligences at the lower end of the academic totem pole, in a society where compulsory education focuses almost all of its resources at the very top. Allow me to draw a parallel from nature. In the Serengeti of Africa, there is no animal that is as good as a giraffe at picking the leaves off the tops of trees. It is the very best at what it does. Similarly, in their own way, salmon are at the very best at what they do. No other creature in the animal kingdom can swim upstream with as much strength and determination as a salmon can. And what many of our schools today are doing are asking salmon to see how well they can pick leaves off the tops of trees. It's a ridiculous image, isn't it? And yet, what happened to me, as happens to countless other engineers in training, is a few leaves were caught in our mouths on the way down. Good grades in math and science labeled me as an engineer before anyone, including me, could take the time to figure out what I was truly skilled at. But now I know. I'm not a giraffe. And I'm not an engineer. I'm a poet. I take patterns that I see in the world, I turn them into words that impact people. And knowing that, there's no limit to the amount that I can accomplish as a speaker, and as a writer, and as an agent for change in the world. Another story. This one from Sir Ken Robinson's book, The Elephant, about Gillian Lynn. Now, when Gillian was a child, she couldn't focus in school. She couldn't sit still, and she fell behind in a lot of her coursework. And her mother and her teacher became concerned, and so they brought her into a therapist. And the therapist sat quietly and listened as Jillian's teacher and her mother explained everything that was going wrong in the classroom. And the therapist watched as Jillian sat on her hands and just tried not to be too much of a bother. And when they had finished explaining, he asked the teacher to leave the room so that he could have time with just Jillian and her mother. And as soon as the teacher had left, he turned on his radio. Music began to play, and Jillian began to dance. And when the song was over, he turned the music back on. And he explained, she's not sick. She's a dancer. And Jillian Lynn went on to have a successful career in solo ballet and then on further into choreography, where she would become very successful. She met Andrew Lloyd Webber, and she choreographed Cats and The Phantom of the Opera, two of the greatest hits that Broadway has ever known. And I tell you these stories so that you can see how simple it can be to unlock a lifetime of brilliance. What I want you to see is that we are all brilliant. You are brilliant. You are brilliant. And so each one of you should go and find the intelligences, the passions that exist in the hearts and minds of the people around you, and give them what they need to grow. Support them, nurture them, mentor them if you can. And you just might unlock